to the pop culture cosmos.
And we're back with another episode of the Pop Culture Cosmos. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here from Pop Culture Cosmos, Inside Sports, Fantasy Football, and the Lakers Fast Break. Truly appreciate everyone out there checking all of our great shows. Please make sure you give us that 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts. Plus, also as well, please go ahead, like and subscribe. Follow us on all the social medias. Boy, there are a bunch of social medias out there, that's for sure. Plus, also as well, don't forget, if you are a great listener of us on one of the many radio stations that still plays us, it is greatly appreciated. And big shout out to all the radio stations that have been playing us for all these years, getting your pop culture news and updates via the Pop Culture Cosmos, indeed. But it wouldn't be a Pop Culture Cosmos without my longtime compadre in crime in the world of pop culture. It is, of course, a good man indeed. You got to go ahead and check him out today on Humanican Media, on all the social media, and also YouTube, and also as well the Happy Hoarder himself as well, happyhoarder.com. It is, of course, my good friend Josh Pederson. What's up, man?
What's up? Yeah, I was just looking at my my movie list here, and it is it's vast compared to last year. So, and I'm just getting started, man. So we're definitely gonna have to break down, do like a checkpoint, you know, and see like what have we seen so far this year and what have we thought of it.
Absolutely. Well, you said we were also going to go ahead and talk about, as far as at some point in time, your, if I remember correctly, your picks the summer, how the summer movie went.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So if you wanted to go ahead and cover that as well, we could go ahead and do that. Maybe on a show in an upcoming sometime in the next couple of weeks, maybe, if you'd like to go ahead and do that. So we can go.
Sounds good to me. Hey, real quick, before we move on here, I just want to commemorate or give a shout out to Astronomer, the company, you know, after the whole Coldplay scandal.
Yeah. Oh, I was going to do hum Coldplay in the background. You know what? I'm sorry. People have been like, I'll just say this. I apologize. I'll just say this. Coldplay is getting a lot of heat as being this year's or this era's version of what are some of the groups from the early 2000s that really got a lot of heat for not being cool to be followed, as far as I'm concerned,
like Creed and
yeah,
yeah,
Nickelback, yes, absolutely. I get that, and I understand a lot of people are like ragging on Coldplay, but you understand, in that video, I think the thing that gets lost in this is that they filled up a football stadium. They can still fill up stadiums. So I like Coldplay. I'm not ashamed to say I like Coldplay. So if you don't like Coldplay, that's up to you. I get that. I understand it. But yeah, just wanted to go ahead and put that out there. But yeah, a lot of things interesting happen at Coldplay concerts.
So yeah, okay. We could spend a good 20 minutes talking about that whole situation. I mean, it's like I know the guy who was on camera is trying to sue Coldplay, but I was telling my wife, I'm like, you know, this is the same thing at like sports events, right? Like if you go on any time there's a kiss cam, right, and accidentally catches somebody who's cheating on his wife or girlfriend or whatever, and those people don't sue the Yankees or the Angels or the Lakers.
You've got a ticket right there that says they may get your likeness.
Yeah.
There.
But anyways, you know, a really funny move was Astronomer hiring Gwyneth Paltrow, who used to date married to Chris Martin. Yeah. So I mean, that was a pretty funny thing, and they're just kind of saying like, hey, we're a company that is known for more than just this whole thing. So I don't know. It's just,
she did it in such a deadpan way. Yeah, you could.
It reminded me of Wendy's Twitter, and that's what kind of made me laugh, because they're just kind of like rolling with the punches and being like, okay, well, we're trying.
Which is the best way you need to do it.
Yeah. Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah, but yeah, you know what? That can't go far, suing Coldplay, because why?
No, it won't work, man. It won't work. I mean, what on what's the basis of what? I mean, were there. It's like if I get caught robbing a bank and I try to sue the security company, you know, like there's no basis there.
There again, when you go to concerts and venues, there's games, sports events, concerts, what have you, there is a disclaimer right there that says your image and likeness may be shown, may be recorded, may be viewed, and it's the price of what you do as far as going inside there. And it's right there on the ticket, or it's right there. If you even don't even have a hardcore copy of a ticket, if you have just your cell phone, your smartphone, then yeah, it's right there as well. So yes, the disclaimers are there. Sorry, so that's not going to fly. And if you're having something on the side, make sure you keep it on the down low. You just did a bad job of it.
Oh man, I got caught doing something I wasn't supposed to.
Exactly, indeed. So yes, it's been talked about, shown. I love all the AI. Okay, AI. I don't, the concept. We all are scared of it. See, it's taking over. A lot of us don't like it. It's taking away jobs. I get that. I understand that. But in the context of this, all the AI, pairings that I've seen as far as when they go to that kiss cam shot, a lot of people have done AI work on it. That is amusing to me because that is harmless as far as not harmless, but I said it's not taking away people's jobs or livelihoods when you go ahead and do something like that. It's just they're out there for laughs and then things like that. So yeah, it is what it is. But it is going to be a great episode. We've got much to discuss, including Battlefield, Alive, and we'll decide how well here coming up later on. Comic-Con news and a response. Speaking of another controversy as far as South Park is concerned, we'll hear their response here in a bit as far as the big news at Comic-Con. Wuchang Fallen Feathers. I wanted to make sure that got some love. Also, Rematch. That is one of the games that's out there that's crazy. Think of soccer meets Rocket League, and a lot of people are going crazy about that on PC and Xbox Games Pass. So go ahead and hear our thoughts of that here coming up in a bit. And Happy Gilmore 2. Josh and I have both seen it, and we have some thoughts on it. I'll give you that. So we'll go ahead on the show as well. But first, my friend, it is Fantastic Four. Leading up to this, my friend, what were the vibes between Fantastic Four and Superman? If we talked about this a month ago, I don't think you or I had leading into this weekend any thoughts. If you'd have told me that Fantastic Four not only could compete with Superman, but I might actually beat Superman at the box office on both a domestic and worldwide basis in its first weekend, I would have said, I don't think that was going to quite work out. Your thoughts on the performance for Fantastic Four this weekend? Looking like about $125 million domestic, right around what Superman made. Their Friday opening was better. Their Thursday previews was better than Superman. And worldwide, it might do better there as well.
Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to look at the box office stats right now because it's showing that it's sitting at about 100.
But that's basically off the first Thursday and Friday.
Right. Yeah. I know it's not.
Deadline has them targeted for 125 domestic, slightly ahead of Superman, and $230 million worldwide, which would put them definitively ahead of Superman.
Well, I guess the only way to tell how well it's actually going to do is if it passes Captain America, right? Because that's the highest Marvel film right now for this year, and that's at $415 million. So if it passes that, it gets into 500. I'd say it's pretty much did what it needed to do. Because I mean, look at it, we still have Thunderbolt sitting at 382.
Yeah.
But it's so I saw Superman this week. I liked it, but it was different. It wasn't what am I trying to say?
I thought it was okay. Again, I graded it a 7 out of 10.
It was a different superhero movie. It was they were going for more of a lighthearted golden age of comics feeling to it, and it worked. It succeeded. whereas like Zack Snyder's Superman is very dark and gritty.
But you are a Man of Steel. You are really high on that movie more than anyone.
I like the Man of Steel, but the the difference between it, everyone's like, oh, there's the controversy, blah blah blah. I don't think James Gunn is making a Superman for the era that came before, for the era of people who are complaining about it. I think he made a Superman for modern people, and I think that really showed in the work. Like it was geared towards the things that people nowadays in their 20s and 30s care about versus the old school was it Dean Cain and Christopher Reeves and things like that. Zack Snyder stayed away from politics completely. So I mean that's one thing that like he never really brought into his movies, but James Gunn kind of did bring the political stuff in, but it wasn't obnoxious, like it said like, hey, there are things going on in the world and you should care about it, but they don't go as far to like make it the focal point of the movie. So there's a lot of things that are really well done about it. But it was busy, right? It was busy, and I don't know if is it good for launching an entire universe of movies?
That's to its detriment, I think, a little bit. That's one of the things I stated, like you said, busy indeed, because it needed to do so much. And I will here in about 2 weeks or so, I've got a spoiler review episode that I'm gonna put out there later on in a couple weeks that both TJ Johnson and I did, because we had saw it right out of the theater. We came out right when it was released to watch Fantastic Four, and we compared it to Superman. And the thing is, Fantastic Four, I will say this again, you're going to ask some questions on it, but the difference between Fantastic Four and Superman and why it leans slightly ahead in Fantastic Four, I gave that an 8 as opposed to Superman. I gave a 7, is because yes, it didn't need to do as much as far as what Superman was required to do. Like you said, building a whole entire universe, or predominantly building it. Although Creature Commandos, whatever you want to say about that one, that's about what it is, because that's the official, or that's the actual start of James Gunn's universe.
Or is it Peacemaker, man? Or is it
Season 2 coming up? Yeah,
Suicide Squad, like all that jazz is the only
start of it.
Yeah, it's the only canon that was taken from the existing DC universe, and I'm
good point.
Because the whole Amanda Waller and the history of Suicide Squad and everything from that point were taken, but I maybe the Flash thing reset everything. I don't know, but yeah, Superman was like the first movie to like, I guess the launching pad they're using as a movie, but where they're going to go next is anybody's guess. And I heard that I read a rumor today that Henry Cavill has signed on to play Batman, which would really be a strange bit of irony there. But
I think that's a far-reaching one, my friend. Especially if he wants to lean into the brave and the bold. But we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. I do know, and you do know that already, that Jason Momoa, ex-Aquaman, is going to play Lobo, and he's already filmed scenes for Lobo in the upcoming Supergirl movie that's coming out next year. I still can't figure out why you would put Clayface as your number 3 movie in this DC structure list, but
they called it Gods and Monsters, so I guess it all makes sense. Or
I may call it Madam Web when it comes out, but that's
right. Okay, so let me ask you this about the Fantastic Four, right? I think that it does have a lot on its shoulders, actually, because this is supposed to be what sets up Doomsday and all these other movies. Right? Secret Wars, Doomsday, all that good stuff. This is supposed to be what launches that, essentially. So do you think it does a good job of doing that, or do you think it's gonna just kind of...
Well, the Doomsday part, it only briefly touches on as far as what people speculate on it, and that's the thing. It only gets that start of it really briefly throughout the movie. There's one part early in the film that it touches a little bit on it, and then at the end there's another part of it as far as that touches on it. But it does not build. It's not there to build really as far as for the purpose of setting up Doomsday really a whole lot. Its sole purpose is to setting up and establishing Fantastic Four and getting the Fantastic Four done right, as opposed to the previous. I think because of the previous attempts at Fantastic Four have been so mixed and in some cases outright bad, they wanted to make sure they established this is Marvel's definitive Fantastic Four in film for this MCU. And they spent, and again, as it worked for what I said in my review, as far as you can find it written, popculturecosmos.wordpress.com, I think it does a good job by the latter half of establishing them in their bases in the MCU. It sets up a lot. It devotes a lot of the first part of the movie to setting up them and their world, because it takes place, as you already know, in another alternate universe. Out there. So Earth 828 to be exact out there. So yeah, I think more Matt Shakman is, who did the WandaVision series, is more devoted to trying to put the emphasis on them as opposed to really taking steps towards Doomsday and Secret Wars, which may be to Doomsday and Secret Wars detriment, because there's only one film left supposedly that can be able to do that in Spider-Man, and that's a lot of faith in Spider-Man to do just that. So we will have to wait and see. But it makes this particular movie better because it didn't do as much of the busy stuff that you're talking about in Superman, or deal with a lot with Doomsday Secret Wars stuff. It dealt a lot with establishing the Fantastic Four as a team that is going to be an integral part of this upcoming series of films for the MCU.
So what am I trying to say? It was a focus. The movie was very focused.
It is very focused. It is sometimes slightly to its detriment, especially in the first half of the film. But the second half really gets going, and it really, in my opinion, sticks the landing as far as what they needed to accomplish in establishing the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
By the end, you're going, oh, that's why they spent so much time on this, and this, is to get you to this. And for that, this was a really good experience for me. The reason why I wanted you to record today is because we're going to go see it tomorrow as a whole family. So that's
nice.
That was the reason why, and I just wanted to say, it's worth it. We're going to see it again, and we really found it rewarding. I mean, just like we did Thunderbolts, because we found that a rewarding experience as well. So I am happy that the fact that we've seen two, in my opinion, good movies from Marvel in a row, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they have next, even though it will come out a year from now.
Yeah. I mean, I hope that it's good. Like I said, I think if this movie passes that $500,000 marker, it's really going to show if people
500 million.
500 million. Yeah, sorry, it's going to show whether or not people are interested or not, because we're sitting here in a year where a Marvel film has not surpassed $500,000. I mean, that doesn't really say a lot for
$500 million.
Yeah, $500 million. Sorry. But my math is off today, but yeah,
you're lowballing, my friend. You're lowballing. Bob
really
Iger would give you like the side eye. Yes.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, I'm gonna see it this week, so hopefully, I'll have a full report. Hey, but I will say that before we move on here, I did sit down and watch Karate Kid Legends this weekend.
Did you? All right.
Yeah.
How was it for you?
It was a movie.
Yes.
it would have been better as a streaming show. It was filmed like it was meant to stream somewhere. It was filmed like it was meant to stream on YouTube. And so I think that it was a lot of cardboard characters, a lot of cliches, a lot of it felt like a show meant for like Nickelodeon or Disney.
Which is ironic because Cobra Kai was originally a show made by YouTube.
Well, so the Cobra Kai guy is actually in the end of the movie, and they're like setting up for whatever is happening next in that universe. But Yeah, the thing about the Karate Kid movies, man, is like you know what you're getting. It's you watch it, you know the kid's gonna face a hardship and he's gonna win, and then that's gonna be the movie. But it was I didn't dislike sitting down and watching it. It was just a very like vanilla movie, and I understand why it didn't do so well.
I don't say I blame you on that because remember I told you I have a disconnect because I really don't like the Karate Kid films, yet I
Yeah,
love Cobra Kai.
yeah,
It's because of the whole dichotomy of how the Karate Kid films are structured, so cheesy, so vanilla, like you're saying. I think vanilla
yeah,
is probably the best way to say it. So vanilla, like you're saying, even from back from the 80s to the exact opposite with Cobra Kai. Uh,
yeah,
just starting with Billy Zabka's character, William Zabka's character, just as far as how that whole thing just it was turned around upside on its head. Cobra Kai is the exact opposite in many ways of the Karate Kid structure. So that's
yeah,
probably why it forever vanilla Karate Kid is Cobra Kai is non-vanilla. It's cheesy but embraces it. It's soap opera-ish but embraces it. It's
yeah.
sometimes over the top, but it embraces it and it's proud to do so. So whereas Karate Kid tries to always keep that straight face and sometimes, like you said, to its detriment. But
Mhm.
I'm glad I'm going to probably have to see it at some point in time and have to also have probably the same type of feelings when I probably head on that. But I'll let you know for sure. But
All
we'll get
right,
up
please,
that.
please, yeah.
But if you guys have thoughts out there on the battle at the box office, Fantastic Four could do by the end of this weekend slightly better than Superman. What are your thoughts on that? I don't think Josh and I had that on our bingo card as far as that's concerned, but it looks like it's a possibility of meeting or beating Superman. We'll see how it is long term, but this could be a big success for Fantastic Four and Marvel, leading you into Spider-Man next year and also as well Doomsday and Secret Wars. Please let us know your thoughts on all things Fantastic Four Pop Culture Cosmos at yahoo.com or comment in the comments below on YouTube. Well, my friend, there's much more to discuss. We'll go ahead and hit up the Battlefield and video game stuff and Happy Gilmore stuff here in a second, but I wanted to know, have you been keeping just a little bit of an eye on San Diego Comic-Con? I mean, we've gotten the release of trailers for various shows. Star Trek Starfleet Academy was just released a trailer, but there's a lot of trailers and teasers teased within the halls of SDCC. Tron Ares was a nice panel from what I was able to ascertain as far as revealing some of the things that we're looking forward to, you and I, when Tron Ares is coming out. But I think the biggest news from there was the response back when in setting up, we talked about the panel with Mike Judge, as far as also as well the guys from South Park as well, Trey Parker, Matt Stone, those guys getting all together on the same stage and obviously responding to the very divisive first episode after signing a $1.5 billion contract and the sarcastic response to the anger and the outrage from certain parts of the world on that. But so far it's been interesting to see and hear what's going on at Comic-Con, but nothing outlandish like we usually see from DC and Marvel.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of gives the lesser properties a chance to shine, So I think that this is a good opportunity for a lot of publicity for
Peacemaker debuted at season 2 trailer right there at the
yeah.
SDCC.
Okay, so the the politics aside, the South Park thing is interesting because it really just goes to show you that like nobody's safe, right? Because I mean they did the same, not to this degree, but I mean they went after Obama and Biden, Trump, like all sides of the political aisle. Nobody's safe. So I mean it's at this point like why make a big deal out of it? But I've also been seeing theories that this is Matt and Trey Parker trying to rage bait people into going after Paramount after that little spat that they had over the contract price. So yeah, I don't know. It definitely was an interesting thing.
Coyote and Acme, Coyote versus Acme got a release date finally for that movie. So we'll wait to see.
Yeah, to a different company, right?
Yep. And it's so funny because Star Trek, as far as the Strange New Worlds, it just got released last week on Paramount Plus for season 3. It already gave fans a teaser for season 4.
Yeah. Did you see the Gundam Wing 30th anniversary thing was announced?
Yeah.
Everyone's
Yeah.
They haven't said whether they're going to do like a sequel to Gundam Wing or if it's just like an animation, but all the original voice actors were back on the stage together. So it leads me to believe that there's going to be some sort of sequel to Gundam Wing, maybe. But that's I'm hopeful, man. As a kid who grew up watching that show, I'd love to see more of it.
Absolutely. But I just wanted to mention Coyote versus Acme. They did talk a little bit about that movie that was actually shelved by Warner Brothers, but a company bought them out as far as that as far as releasing it as far as being able to be released, because it was actually going to be shelved for tax purposes by Warner Brothers, but it will land in August 2026 release date. So interesting to see how that comes about. But yeah, people talking about a whole bunch of things going on with The Simpsons, with a whole bunch of shows out there. Resident Alien, though, we heard the bad news that was canceled after 4 seasons. That was a disappointing thing, but again, a lot of stuff going on as far as news is concerned. That's interesting to us. Project Hail Mary. I don't know. Again, we've talked a little bit about that with Ryan Gosling. They showed their first 5 minutes of the movie there. So that's something obviously that hopefully people will get interested in. And The Long Walk, from the Stephen King novel with Mark Hamill. In a very different role from Luke Skywalker, as far as The Long Walk being also something there that a lot of people were talking about as well. But yeah, just like you said, just like because DC and Marvel are not there, this gives a chance for a lot of other platforms, a lot of other TV shows and movies. And it was funny because I was talking with TJ about how there are TV shows that you wouldn't really classify as Comic-Con shows or Comic-Con style things that are now going there, embracing the Comic-Con platform, like just sitcoms and dramas, those that are not based in comic books or that type of deal. It's interesting now what San Diego Comic-Con has become, my friend.
They did drop a trailer for Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Did you happen to catch that?
Yes, I actually saw that in the theaters.
What did you think?
Fantastic Four. Well, my youngest daughter is really high on this. We actually watched the first one together. She loved it. I hated it, but I will go ahead and sit down with her again if she wants to go ahead and see it in the theaters. So I'm all into that. Demon Slayer got a little bit of love as well. I know that it's huge right now in Japan. It is absolutely one of the biggest openings ever in Japan at the box office. This beginning of the end for Demon Slayer that will come to theaters here as well here in a short period of time. So I'm looking forward to hearing about that. That was a little bit mentioned at San Diego Comic-Con as well. But yeah, just a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And sometimes it makes for a more entertaining and well-rounded San Diego Comic-Con. I know that a lot of people just go, they have to wait overnight, almost up to 24 hours sometimes for these Hall H ones with DC and Marvel. And I'm just glad that it seems like maybe since they took a year off, you get to go and appreciate other things as well, Josh.
Yeah. And like I said, I think we're going to see a world where Comic-Con does not feature DC or Marvel at all. I mean, we'll still see them like in the vendor booths and things like that. But I think the days of these big announcements are about to disappear completely. Because, I mean, look at same thing happened in the video game industry with Microsoft and Sony, people finding other avenues of putting their things out. So I think we might very well be headed in that direction, at least with Marvel, because they got a lot of their stuff's now being announced at like the D23s and things like that.
Yep, absolutely. There's still though a lot of good stuff. King of the Hill because it's coming to Hulu here in a couple weeks. I guess the reboot of that, or not the reboot, just they acknowledge they've been gone for a long time, and it's the actual restart for that as far as that show is concerned with Hulu and all that. Gen V, the whole Boys universe, the Boys, Invincible, Gen V, the
Is
Robert
the Boys
Kirkman.
over? Is that show done? Is the Boys, is that show finished?
Season 5 will be its last.
Okay, all right.
Yes, there's one more season to go of the Boys, and I think they just talked about, they had a panel on it as far as covering Gen V, and then just a little bit of the Boys on that, and then also Invincible talked about that as well. Robert Kirkman, again, his universe still doing very well, and then also I guess coming out of Comic-Con as well, Gerald Dixon. That being renewed for a 4th and final season as well. Dead City was renewed just beforehand for a 3rd season. Daryl Dixon is being renewed for one more season. We could be seeing a ending of
finally close it down, boys.
But we'll have to wait and see, my friend. But it is, of course, San Diego Comic-Con. If you have thoughts, we'd love to hear it from you. popculturecosmos@yahoo.com. I want to make sure that you go ahead and say to us if you like the fact that it was more diverse as far as who's getting the news and who's not, instead of just all predominantly DC and Marvel, or does DC and Marvel make, or Star Wars too, that level as well, because Star Wars should be back next year as well, even though they are doing a D23 at some point. They should be there at San Diego Comic-Con as well. So we'll see what happens. Avatar wasn't there either, so yeah, it's really strange. Yeah. San Diego Comic-Con. Yeah,
we're supposed to get an Avatar this year, I thought.
Yes,
but I have.
Yeah, I don't see any panels for Avatar. I could be wrong, but I didn't see anybody talking about a panel that they had or anybody as far as it's concerned. So yeah, very strange, very strange. But then again, it's going to make $2 billion anyways, most likely. So. Yeah, that seems to be the thing. Yeah,
right.
Exactly. So, what are your thoughts up there at San Diego Comic-Con? Let us know. popculturecosmos@yahoo.com. Well, my friend, before you want to get to the video game stuff or Happy Gilmore 2? Which one?
You pick, man. Just roll the dice.
Let's just. All right, people are on pins and needles on our review of Happy Gilmore 2. So, I want to hear your thoughts. I have a feeling you liked the original. I'm not saying I didn't like the original Happy Gilmore, but it didn't endear to me because Adam Sandler comedies don't endear themselves to me like other places. I think, which is weird because I do like a lot of those style comedies. In fact, Naked Gun in a couple weeks concerns me greatly because of the history of Naked Gun and Police Squad. I'm really concerned about that movie being not being up to par. But that being the case, Happy Gilmore. A lot of people are very, very attached to that movie. I talked to the guys from Lakers Fast Break, and Joe Soro, one of my co-hosts there. He's really attached to that film. I think The Waterboy is the best Adam Sandler comedy I've seen for my taste. But your thoughts on that as far as Happy Gilmore to Happy Gilmore 2? It is now released on Netflix. Whether you liked it or didn't like it, I still think, and I said this leading up to it, I thought Happy Gilmore 2 should have been released in theaters for at least 2 or 3 weeks because I think you would have gotten some nostalgic buzz and dollars, but Netflix doesn't seem to always care or want these movies to come out in theaters beforehand.
Yeah, that's weird to me because I mean I understand it, but also it does seem strange, right? Because Happy Gilmore was like a phenomenon of the 90s, right? You look back in 90s comedy, you have Dumb and Dumber, Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison, like Adam Sandler occupied a lot of those like nostalgic 90s comedy spots. So you'd think that like, let's try to make some money off this, but they did not. I know Netflix has a contract, right, with Happy Madison Productions, and that's they have so many more Sandler
but
movies.
Knives Out, for instance, that I think got released to theaters for a couple weeks before it came to.
Yes, I remember.
I really thought they could have taken advantage of the nostalgia on this and just gotten like 2 weeks worth of good volume as far as at the box office before you put it out on
I
streaming.
wonder if Sandler has any control over that. I wonder if that's a Netflix call completely, or if that's up to his production company.
I think if he would have inferred that he would have wanted this in theaters, I think that he could have probably talked his way into it. But I just, this point, does he really care? Because he's getting the money either which way.
Yeah. Okay, so let me just jump into it here. Happy Gilmore I enjoyed that movie. When I was younger, it's not my go-to Sandler movie by any means. I'd rather watch Billy Madison or, I was always a big fan of like Bulletproof. Like I like that one with him and was it Damon Wayans?
Damon Wayans,
yeah. But yeah, Happy Gilmore. It was not ever my go-to, but I enjoyed it. That being said, I haven't watched it in at least 10 years. But so I sat down, I was perusing Netflix and I saw, oh, Happy Gilmore 2 is out today. I will tell you, man, it has what looks like a very tired Adam Sandler in that movie.
Yes, you're right.
Did you notice that? Like he just looks exhausted.
And, I look every bit of 56, but he looks every bit of 58. I'll just give you that.
It's even the way that he's like his mannerisms though. It's the way he's like acting and moving in the film. And I sit there thinking to myself like, it just kind of lacks the energy of the original Happy Gilmore. And then there's a lot of stuff. It's just like cheap gags in it. But then there were some things, and I sat there thinking, like, oh man, this is really stupid. I hope the rest of the movie is not like this. But then, there's a lot of like they go back to what made '90s comedy so great too, with like the physical comedy, with the guy dodging the golf balls and the batting cages and things like that. Like there are some parts in there where I like genuinely had laughed like out of my chest. I haven't done that in a movie for a really long time, but those moments that I did not necessarily outweigh the moments that I sat there going like, oh man, that's a really like cheap way to put a movie together. So I'm, if I had to rate it, like I'd probably give it like a 6.5 or a 7. I'm not, that's not to say like stay away from it and not to say I didn't enjoy it, because I did enjoy it, but I didn't think that it was a great movie. Does that make sense? I'm like,
no, you're right on button with me, because it represents with that, and to an extent as well, the Naked Gun movies, and also as well Police Squad. They're hit and miss on the jokes, whether it's visual or it's out loud. It's hit and miss. They throw a whole bunch of stuff at you, and whatever hits, and whatever doesn't. They just move on. They don't dwell on it. They move on. And for me, the ratio of the jokes hitting and missing were about 5 to 20. Or I was joking with TJ. I said 5 to 100, but it's actually 5 to 20. Like the part where they crash the golf cart. There's a part there where they're crashing a golf cart. That was funny. There was a couple other things that were funny too. But I had to wait sometimes long stretches of groaning, acting, groaning atmosphere type deals as far as it's concerned, as far as writing, the way it's built. I like the fact that they tried to incorporate with a rival golfing league like today's,
I remember the XFL.
Or Live Golf today to the PGA, Live Golf to the PGA. If you really want to go out of that as well, they tried to do that. They've got 500 cameos, seemingly. It's not 500, but it's a lot.
Yeah, Eminem's was really surprising. Like Travis Kelce was surprising, but also like Eminem being in there was that was
Bad Bunny being the caddy. That was I don't think that was beyond a cameo. That was more like a role
like
as far as
mainstay in the
yeah. But there was a ton. Christopher McDonald, though, I think was the best of the performers. He said, "You know what? You're bringing me back to life. I haven't really done a whole lot since in years, whatnot. This is like rejuvenated me." Him being there was the highlight for me. I'll just leave it at that. And then for wrestling fans, I know wrestling fans out there like there's MJF as far as Maxwell Jacob Freeman. and then also as well, of course, Becky Lynch. Those two big names from the world of wrestling. How did they do? I'll just say one did much better than the other, but they were both not given very much to do as far as enough lines, because you can't, because there's just so many cameos and so many, everybody has to get their lines in and all that. Some worked, most didn't. Just like this movie, some worked, most didn't for me. And I'd give this thing slightly below yours. 6, you said 6.5.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to have to equate it to about 5.5, 5.75, because there are 3 or 4 points where I legitimately laughed. But you have to get through so much in order to go ahead and do it, to find something funny. And some of it's just eye rolling. But like you said, there was quite a bit of nods to the previous film. There was quite a bit of nods to those 90s comedies in general, Josh. And when they did try to, those few times they tried to embrace it like that, I think that works for me. But when they're just like throwing stuff at a dartboard, as far as the comedy is concerned, it just kind of like glazed my eyes, or like that, rolled my eyes. And then also the fact that they had to give so many cameos out there. I think this film would have been better if it would have been shorter, in my opinion. But again, it just seems like he wants to give everybody that he knows a line or two or a spot in one of his films.
Yeah.
And like you said, he just looks tired. Adam Sandler himself, like you said, I think that's the best way to say it. You just look like he's there. It's like he's hosting a party.
Yeah.
But that he's a professional party hoster and is just doing it and going through the motions. And I mean, it's there. To me, it's there. It's like, okay, I saw it. I'm done. It's out of my mind now. It's literally just, I'm gone. It's so sad, because in the days leading up to this on the Lakers Fast Break, Magic Man Sean Grice and Joe Soro were just going over how funny how experienced, like you said, the 90s Happy Gilmore, how much it endears itself to them. Like the Naked Gun movies and Police Squad endears itself to me. So it's just was kind of sad to see that the execution on this film wasn't at that same par of the original Happy Gilmore.
Yeah.
But I think it should do tremendous numbers. But I think it would have been wise 2 weeks in the theaters, because after 2 weeks, this movie, I think the word of mouth would have it fall off a cliff. But 2 weeks, built-in nostalgia, make $150 million, to maybe even $200 million in that stretch of time, and then you send it to Netflix and get the big numbers from there. I just would have planned it differently.
Yeah, I agree, man. Like it was fun, but it was not a good movie by any stretch of the imagination. The cameos were hit or miss.
Abundant.
John Daly.
I'll say abundant.
Yeah, John Daly stuff was pretty funny, like some parts of that, but they're like the hand sanitizer thing, like the jokes. Some of the jokes were good, but someone just got beaten to death. The hiding,
because he kept going back to it.
Yeah, the hand sanitizer, the hiding the booze, the thing with Ben Stiller having alcohol anonymous people
alkies
watching his windows and stuff, like some of the jokes they needed, like once or twice, like, oh, okay, that's still funny, but then they just kept relying. They became, a lot of the jokes became crutches, and that kind of really slowed the pace of the movie down for me.
It's funny because when I saw Ben Stiller in this movie, it kind of made me angry, because like, I don't want you in another Meet the Parents, Ben. I don't want you in this.
Yeah.
No, I don't want that. I don't want that, Josh. You know what I want?
What?
Season 3 of Severance a whole lot sooner than it's going to come out. That's what I want. You just got 27 Emmys. You should be focused, laser focused on bringing that out, instead of Meet the Parents or reviving an old character which not everybody liked from the original one. So it just, Ben, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Between Knicks games, this and this, it's like Severance. Focus on Severance. If Severance season 3 is bad, it's
do the thing that people actually care about. Yeah.
Exactly. Absolutely need. Just got 27 Emmy nominations. Give me a break. Which is the one you should focus on? But need I digress, my friend. But overall, it's out. It's going to get a lot of numbers on Netflix. It's going to be huge for the first couple of weeks on Netflix. So we will see what happens. But I still see it as some lost money on the table for Netflix for a couple of weeks run on the theaters. But yeah, c'est la vie. But if you are interested in this Adam Sandler comedy, it is Adam Sandler as far as bringing back all the old hits, all the old favorites, and it hits and misses like all the old hits and all the old favorites. But if you have thoughts on Happy Gilmore 2, please let us know your thoughts. popculturecosmos@yahoo.com. My friend, there's still 15 minutes left in the show. Truly appreciate joining us. Thought we'd be able to touch on video games, as you and I know, that you and I love so much and dear to our hearts. First up, I want to go ahead and talk about Battlefield. One of the things is, thank goodness they're bringing back the theme song, the best theme song that they had, especially during the Battlefield 3 era, which I think was the height of the series. But Battlefield 6, by this time next week, they will have, I think, a release date, because I think they're doing a multiplayer reveal here sometime this upcoming week. So that's when I believe they come out with release date. They had one of those behind the scenes and campaign looks, because they're bringing back a campaign to Battlefield 6. I don't know how much you got to see of it, but it's kind of worries me in today's day and age, because it's not only just the regular team for Battlefield, but their support teams. They talked about how many people are invested and involved in this. EA is again throwing in all the money and all the dice on Battlefield. In fact, there's been a report that they were talking about thinking about 100 million players for this, and I'm like, it is not coming anywhere close to that.
Yeah.
What I'm concerned with, if it doesn't meet the numbers, that all those support teams and all those people are going to be the next wave of layoffs at EA. That's my thinking right there, and I don't want to think it, but unfortunately, with the reality of the world of video games, it is what it is. Your thoughts on this? It did look good as far as the campaign look. I liked what I saw so far. It might suck me back into Battlefield.
That's
the
destruction
thing, though.
levels.
And
all
the
that. Battlefield, yeah, but all the Battlefield games look good. They all look good when they're shown in trailers. The games are fun, like the single player games. To me, I've always enjoyed the Battlefield games, the single player versions. They're,
but 2042 didn't have a campaign. I don't think, did it?
No, it didn't. But what was it, Battlefield 1 or whatever? I think was the last one that actually had a campaign. I always love Battlefield Bad Company. I do enjoy the campaigns for the Battlefield games when they have them. But they're not Call of Duty, right? I mean, Call of Duty is what's better known by people. So I mean, no matter what EA does, I don't think they're ever going to regain that ground that Call of Duty has gained on them. Battlefield games, people buy them, but notice within a couple of months they're like less than $20. So it's one of those games that just doesn't hold its ground. It's not necessarily because it's a bad game. It's because people have already spent their money on Call of Duty. Call of Duty has all the players. So I think that they're racing against popularity and they're just not getting into that bracket.
It's concerning to me that they're putting all their resources into this, and also, will it affect the upcoming Mass Effect, for instance?
Probably. EA doesn't care about Mass Effect. I mean, we've seen that time and time again.
Yeah, and it's really concerning to me. And again, my heart goes out to all these developers, and the people that work behind the scenes for this upcoming Battlefield, because again, there's so many resources being tied to this. If you look at that behind the scenes video that they even talk about, Vince Zampella, the brains behind this Battlefield and the Battlefield, with EA, him going in there and helping design this Battlefield 6 and how it's going to be structured out. I'm really hoping that it's a big payoff. I really am hoping that it's a big payoff. But I've always liked Battlefield, the concept of Battlefield, more than Call of Duty, because of the fact, if I wanted to, if I'm out in the battlefield, I want to go into a tank, I can go into a tank. If I wanted to go into a mobile vehicle, I could do that. If I just wanted to stay on the ground, I could stay on the ground. If I wanted to go in a jet or a helicopter, I could do that. I couldn't do that in Call of Duty. So that was the appeal to me. Now, it's so funny because some of the times my memories of playing, as far as the multiplayer is concerned, were like, okay, I'm starting out, just coming up from my spawn point, start running, and all of a sudden a jet plane lands on me, killing me instantly, the stuff like that, or you leaping off the building because of the great destruction values that they were emphasizing on. It had all these great ideas, and all these great things that you do, but just could never quite put it all together enough to get them ahead of Call of Duty. Yeah. Although in many ways they should be more appealing than Call of Duty, because they can never tighten up the gameplay enough or certain aspects enough, just enough to draw people away from Call of Duty, which now we will wait and see, because Call of Duty is no longer the Call of Duty that I don't think Call of Duty is at the same type of hierarchy that it once was. It still could be very much the best-selling game of the year when it comes out, but it just doesn't have that same panache, which, if Battlefield 6 is really that good, and if we know that it's going to come out later this year, maybe it's not, maybe it's a 2026 release, or maybe they'll bump it up because of GTA 6, because all these games are trying to get away from GTA 6 coming out next year. We'll wait and see. But if it does come out this year, it'll be interesting to see if there is, for the first time in a long time, going to be an existing battle that takes place between Call of Duty and Battlefield.
Yeah, I mean, it'd definitely be interesting. I feel like Call of Duty is going to be the one people are going to go with, but who knows, man? We could be pleasantly surprised by this. Also, people still hate EA, so I don't know how that's going to play in this game's favor, but we'll see, man. We will see.
We will see, indeed. I'm just hoping for these guys as well. But if you have thoughts for Battlefield 6, we'll know more about the release date, I believe, upon the multiplayer reveal that's coming up later this week. So if you have thoughts on the latest Battlefield, are you still excited for Battlefield, or are you excited to hopefully see what's going to go on? Or are you not excited at all after what happened previously with 2042 and how bad that did, and just the fact that you were never on Battlefield? We want to hear your thoughts on the Battlefield saga. Please let us know. popculturecosmos@yahoo.com. But before we end it out, my friend, want to touch on 2 games making waves. Wuchang Fallen Feathers, a game coming to Game Pass, my friend. Well, it's actually out now in Game Pass. It is right out of the Souls-like, machinery, as far as the rinse and repeat Souls-like games that have taken over quite a bit in many ways over the past decade or so. Your thoughts on Wuchang Fallen Feathers? Getting okay reviews. Not super great. Not bad. But okay. It's right there. I don't know if by the end of the year we'll actually be talking about it or remember it anyway. But it's for this period of time in the summer, it's nice to have something that looks like it has some production value, that it looks like it has some potential to be a decent hit, that is making waves, that conveniently comes to Game Pass as well.
Yeah, I actually just finished installing it this morning, so I haven't had a chance to sit down and play it. But I'm hearing it's a very average game. I guess it's not, no one's writing home about it, but it's still, they're enjoying it. I just started playing Death Stranding too, so I've been kind of going back and forth on that one with some a couple other games. But
it's funny how you got into Death Stranding 2 after you called so much long as far as Death Stranding the walking simulator.
It's funny because I was texting someone about this. I was saying either Kojima made a masterpiece of a story, or he literally just pulled it all out of his butt as he was going and used the internet to make it make sense. To me, I got caught just building roads and delivering boxes. It's a very mindless game. And not to say that it's I didn't walk away from the game being like, oh man, this game's absolutely breathtaking. It's amazing. But I went away from it thinking I was pleasantly surprised by how much I enjoyed playing that. But anyways, yeah, I do want to play Wukong. I'm it's just like I said, I finished installing. I'm hoping to play it this week. I actually dove back into Oblivion a little bit, so I've been juggling some things, man.
I like it. I like it indeed. I'm still big on the remake of or remastered of Oblivion. So as one of my top games of this year. So really liking that as well. And then of course Wuchang Fallen Feathers. Again, I'd love to hear your thoughts, Josh, on it.
I called it Wukong.
Yes, wrong one. It's Wuchang Fallen Feathers. Wuchang Fallen Feathers. I know we're just getting our woos wrong on that, but Wuchang Fallen Feathers that is now available on Game Pass, PS5, and also PC. So go ahead and tell us your thoughts on that. But before we head on out, my friend, I wanted to get one last thing in there as far as Rematch. I know you've heard about Rematch.
Is that the soccer game? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a soccer game from the guys that made Simu. Remember that Kung Fu action game that came out a couple of years ago?
Yeah, Sifu.
Yeah, Sifu, and then I was going to think it's Simu Liu. See, now I got me all mixed up now. Oh my gosh! But Sifu. As far as it's concerned, if you got a chance to play a very well received Kung Fu action game, this is a very well received hybrid of soccer and also as well like Rocket League, like Crash Soccer, like very abbreviated, very quick games. It looks like something that where you could do 3-on-3, 4-on-4, 5-on-5. It really, as far as integrates some multiplayer, but also gives a lot of players a chance to shine. As far as FIFA, a little bit more slower paced, and obviously following the design of the world of FIFA itself. So your thoughts on this, my friend? Rematch has been a pretty good hit out there, not only on Game Pass, again, but also as well PC and PS5. Again, just proving that these games, if they can really transcend in one way or another, like Rocket League. Rocket League just came out of nowhere, became an absolutely big hit for a while, and this might become the next, like, I don't want to say underground hit, but the next surprise hit that we've seen in a year of surprise hits as well.
Yeah. I mean, and there's not really anything occupying the soccer space right now. So, it was prime for a game to come along and do that. But I haven't played it. It's kind of the first I'm hearing about it this week. So I will have to do a little bit more investigating. But let's be honest though. Like soccer games are fun if you sit down with them and have the controls mastered well enough. They can be pretty fun. So check it out and let us know what you think of it.
Absolutely. We're going to be talking about this, hopefully, maybe at the end of the year. It's one of the best opportunities for people to go out there and play video games. But interesting to see how this game will develop and if this game will be something people last and stay with and stick with. I have a feeling people will really stay with this game as a casual hit going forward. That's Rematch out there. If you're interested, please go ahead and check it out. Again, as far as the barrier for entry level is pretty good, pretty easy. So yeah, if you're really out there wanting to go ahead and check this out, again, I believe it's on Game Pass as well, my friend, isn't it? If I'm not mistaken.
I'm not sure. I'll have to look.
Yeah, let me go ahead and I'll check out Xbox Game Pass real quick, and then we'll go ahead and check it out. But yeah, just really looking forward to seeing what's out there as far as what will be coming up, because this has been a pretty darn good year for what we're seeing as far as video games is concerned. Really good year for video games. So I'm really interested to see what's going on. Yes, Wuchang Fallen Feathers. That has come out. Let me see. Go ahead. RoboCop, actually, also Rogue City. If you missed that, that's also available on Game Pass. So if you guys are out there talking about what's going on, I'm sorry, it is not. I believe on Game Pass. So that's a disappointment there. But again, you're able to go ahead and get it real easy because it's on all the platforms. So if you are interested in Rematch, we want to hear your thoughts. Pop Culture Cosmos at yahoo.com. Well, my friend, it's been a great episode. Truly appreciate you joining us. Any last thoughts before we head on out? Oh, actually, it is included with Game Pass. Rematch is a Game Pass title out there.
Oh, nice. We'll have to check it out and play it.
But any last thoughts before we head on out, my friend?
No, I mean, not that I can think of. Did you check out the new Predator trailer? What are your thoughts on that? Predator Badlands?
Yeah, that was also, I think, in advance for San Diego Comic-Con. I have a feeling at the end of the year, Predator Badlands will not rank as high to me as the animated Predator that I will be seeing very soon, my friend.
Yeah. The anime one's definitely good. Interesting. I was talking to my wife about the Fanning sisters. Like, it's interesting to me that like Dakota will only does stuff that's like set on a path for Academy Awards, and then you have Ellie who will do anything if she thinks that it's a fun project, and she has excelled at like literally every type of genre that you can think of.
And very interesting to see the different pathways taken by the Fanning sisters.
Yeah.
But both are well thought of right there in pop culture. So we will see what happens. But yes, it is Predator Badlands. If you get to see the trailer like I have already, please let us know, Pop Culture Cosmos, your thoughts. popculturecosmos@yahoo.com. So for Josh the Great Pederson, this is Gerald Glassford. It's another beautiful day in paradise right here in the Pop Culture Cosmos. We thank you for listening. And here's hoping you have yourself a great day.
Welcome to the Pop Culture Cosmos.